I ain't been broke in a minute. I'm tryna run these digits. Put my little bro in the penny. We hop at the car with extensions. These niggas be pistols, they switching. Playing with bro, then you go on the mission. Me and my niggas, we all on the mission. Focus on money, ain't worried about bitches.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy VeLL, and we're back with another Mobile Legends video. In this one, we're finally going to be responding to Mirko. So this is going to be a response to a response to a response of him responding to me when I responded. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, like, we're going to be seeing what he has to say, man. I will say, like I've said this in multiple videos. I know everybody doesn't watch every video, but with me, it's all love. I share some of my opinions. At the end of the day, this is very opinionated. I have my opinions. He has his opinions. I feel that I'm right about my opinions. He feels that he's right about his opinions. At the end of the day, we're both right to ourselves. So, I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's really just a regular conversation. Like, I know that sometimes the viewers sometimes make things a lot more toxic than it actually is, but there is all love here. I'm a huge fan of Mirko. I'll stand on that. Regardless, I don't really, think too much or care too much how someone feels about me. I don't feel like I attempt to go out of my way to offend anyone or upset anyone or anything like that. But if you can't handle something that I feel to be true and me just giving an opinion, that's fine. Like, people don't have like the greatest opinions about me, but it is what it is. If you feel that way, it's how you feel. Like, so it is what it is. So that being said, let's jump into it. This video is already long enough. So yeah, we're gonna jump into it, man. And I'm probably gonna cut it, edit it, and skip around if it's too long because this was an hour-long thing. So yeah, that being said, be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn notifications. And don't get it confused. I have nothing but love for Indo as well. I have a lot of love for Indo. I have a lot of love for the Philippines. I just feel like the Philippines is clearly dominating right now, so I'm giving them their love and their flowers because they deserve it. That's what it comes down to. When Indo is accomplishing more and doing more, I'm going to give them their love and flowers too. That's just what it is. But I've mainly come back and been covering the M series, so that's really what I've focused on, So yeah, anyway, let's jump into it. Okay, they're lazy, bro. Like, they're lazy, There's no way about it. If you're importing over actually, supporting your own country, you're being lazy.
Unfortunately. Again, all right. So, sorry, maybe it may be confusing. I'm sorry for the way that I think I misphrased it as well. But yeah, in this, let me just play it back again. Unfortunately, we just don't have the talent right now, right? So, hey, I think it's just the team saying, or it's just the real world saying that we don't have the talent right now. Because, again, when it comes to all those trials, etc., although I do want to think that we have the talent pool to actually be able, if we develop the talents, etc., to be able to compete with the Filipinos. Yeah, that's optimistic.
So he thinks that they have the talent if they develop the talent. All that I've tried to say this entire time is you are probably correct in your assessment that you probably have the talent if you all take the time to develop the talent. My whole thing is that I think that it's lazy that you all would rather take the easy way out and import than to actually develop the talent, which you yourself has just admitted that you have the talent there. It just needs to be developed. That's it. That's all that I was saying. I don't know why it's become this huge big controversy. The fact of the matter is it does take work to import a player, fit them in with the team, have them learn the language. It takes work as well. But it does not take as much work as molding your own players and getting them to the caliber that they need to be at, which is why you all are choosing to go for an import as opposed to putting in all that hard work that it would take to actually boost up your own players. You're taking the easy, lazy way out, which is the most effective for business. And I'm not even saying that you should not be doing that. In your position, it depends on the goals and objectives. Is this about Indo pride? Or is this about money? And more than likely, these businesses with all this money in Indo, it's about money to them. So they're making the best money decision. In their shoes, if I was going for money like that too, I would probably be doing the same thing. Like, why? But that's why it's hard to have as much Indo pride though, because the people higher up making all these decisions are just making money decisions, making money in the quick and easy route decisions. So yeah, and this is no disrespect to anybody. I think that all the teams, the players and stuff like that work very hard, but that's all I was saying.
thinking. That's me. I think that way, right? But the real world and the teams, that's what they're trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. I think the teams and the real world is trying to say it's not. Unfortunately, that's not how not how it works. It's not that easy, right? And that's why they go for imports. That's why in the end, through that whole process and whatever,
They say, you think that the teams are saying that it's not that easy. Easy. You think that it's easy for the Philippines? It's not easy. They just are willing to put in the work because they're not lazy. It's not all about money. Like, the more you speak and the more you say things, I'm going to catch the nuances. Like, you're basically just saying, you're proving the point that I'm trying to make. And it's not a point that's worth really even trying to really dispute. It's a lot more lazy to import something than it is to craft it and make it by hand. Like, that's the whole point of an import, is to make the process of something easier, to make it quicker. Like, when you're importing something, it's already been made. The hard work has been done somewhere else. You're importing it to, I made a recent video where I basically explained it's like putting a desk together. Most of us, we go and buy our desk from like the store. We go to the store, we buy our desk, we put it together. That's what Indo is doing. The Philippines, I would equate that more so to chopping down their own trees, making their own hammers, making their own nails and bolts, and making a desk from scratch. That's what I would equate that to. So yeah, anyway.
And the things that I've said earlier, and yeah, basically everything. So I don't think I contradicted myself. I think I misphrased it. But it's basically me trying to say that I think it's the real world and the teams who are saying that we don't have that talent, Mirko. We don't have that talent pool, unfortunately, to be able to compete right now. But it doesn't mean that we don't have the talent pool to compete forever. That's why the imports, in my opinion, is such a good it's such a good maneuver to get imports, because we have very high level players coming in. The imports that we get are not garbage players, right? Obviously, the teams who are looking to import, they're looking to import the best of the best players that they can find.
Exactly. You're taking a shortcut. You're taking the quick route. We're pretty much on the same page. I 100% agree with what you're saying. Like, I 100% agree.
So with all these new players that are coming in, I think this is also something that cannot be, this is like a fact. You can't really dispute this, but the imports that have come into Indonesia have helped elevate the team. Beloyski and maybe not all, but most, right? Beloyski and Marky helped Geek Fam go to the first runners-up. We've seen multiple coaches as well, like Arcadia help RRQ get very, very far. And also, we have seen Kyrie and the most easy comparison, right? When they joined the team, they raised that team. They kind of like raised the level of competition, because again, everybody on that team stepped up big time. Everybody improved, and they so much with the team. Yeah.
Muted the wrong one. Supporting your own, you're being lazy.
Unfortunately. Oh yeah, but okay, sorry. So he says that if you're actually still importing and you're not supporting your own country, you're not going for your own countrymen, then it's lazy. Again, I've already said how like the whole import thing isn't lazy, how the process isn't lazy, but yeah, I mean,
the process, you explained how the process takes a lot to do. That doesn't mean that it's still not the lazy route. It still takes a lot to put together a desk from Walmart, but the process is still lazy. Because you didn't go and chop down the tree yourself. You didn't go and create the tools, the hammer, the nails. You didn't go and do all that. It's easier than if you would have built it all from scratch. So no one's saying that the process does not require some work and effort. And, it still requires effort and work, but it's not as much work as the Philippines building this from nothing, molding their players and things like that.
And I can definitely see that perspective. Like again, this is his opinion against mine, right? I mean, it's just really opinions around here. But yeah, I really don't think it's lazy. It's almost like
and this is true. Like, I mean, this is his opinion. He doesn't think that it's lazy. I think that it's lazy. It's really just going to come down to opinions. He doesn't think it's lazy. I do think that it's lazy. But I mean, I feel like I've expressed why I believe that it's lazy. I don't think that. I think that he's kind of presented it in a way where I come across as if I think that Indo has to do nothing. It just works. But no, it takes some work, but just not as much work as if you were doing it how the Philippines was.
I guess for reference, I would actually look at football, right? The real football. Maybe not the one that he knows. Sorry, a little dig there because I'm talking about the, soccer, football. That's that football. I hate the word. But yeah, in football, let's just take the English league, for example, which a lot of people say are the most competitive league in the world right now. They have a lot of imports. It's not full English players. Actually, there might be more imports in total compared to English players. It's just some regulations there. But
it's about business and money. Even in there, it's about business and money. So is that lazy? I would say it's lazy for football too. It's absolutely lazy for football too. They don't get a pass just because it's not the Mobile Legends community. Lazy is lazy no matter where you put it. Now, is being lazy part of the business? Yes. You want to make your business as easy as possible. Everybody wants to cut a few corners and find an easier way to do things. Lazy. You can argue more so than my content being editing based and stuff like that. I just give my opinions and I talk about stuff. Some can argue that that's lazy. Some can argue that it's not, because instead of mastering the skill of editing, I've had to master the skill of being able to express my thoughts and opinion in a way where other people can understand it, which is a skill. So some people may see it as lazy, where I don't take the time to sit here and edit and do all the super best cool stuff but expressing myself in this way is also a skill. So it's like, in a way, I'm lazy because I don't care to learn how to edit that good or care to take the time to edit that good. But on another hand, I put my effort into a different skill. So it's like, I wouldn't necessarily call myself lazy, while I can see someone's perspective who would call me lazy, especially if they take the time to edit for hours and hours and hours. So, lazy is really subjective. It's in the eye of the person who's calling you it, so.
It's still the most competitive league. And does it mean that England's football is garbage? Does that mean that country has zero talent and will...
Whoa. Garbage? I never said Indo is garbage. I never said the country has no talent. I actually said the opposite. I said I agree with you that there is talent there to be molded. I say that you're too lazy to put the effort into molding the talent the way that the Philippines does. So don't make it seem like I just came at the country and attacked the country. Absolutely not true. Never said that. I 100% think that there's a lot of talent in Indo. I remember the Just No Limit days. I remember the Lemon days, the Aura days. I remember those days. Huge fan. So don't sit here and make it seem like I'm downplaying Indonesia. I'm not. I'm just saying today's Indonesia is not what it was. It's not what it was.
Will never be as good as the other countries. No, that's how it works, right? When a country is very, very dominant, when they have so many good players, like right now in MLBB, it's the Philippines, we're bound to get these players. And again, it's not just happening in Indo. If it's just happening in Indo, then maybe we could basically be talking about, okay, that's lazy, blah, blah, blah. But it's happening everywhere, right? I mean, in Cambodia as well, they don't have as big of a talent pool. And the teams have definitely communicated that with getting imports, right? They've tried to raise that level. And unfortunately, even though Indonesia started first with MLBB, they were the ones at the top at first. They weren't able to keep being at...
Bro, Just No Limit would not leave that leaderboard, bro. Like, that man was up there heavy. Jess was dominating, bro. Like, he came through on a tear, on a mission. Shout out Just No Limit, man.
The top, right? It was the Philippines who conquered from M2 all the way to M5 when it comes to the M series. So they've been at the top for the longest time, and that's why now the Filipinos are just better at the game. It's very, very normal for sports, for esports, anything in the competitive realm, especially when it's team-based, where teams will get these imports to help the other players, to help the league itself grow. Why did Messi go to America? Why did Ronaldo go to Saudi Arabia, aside from the money, of course, right? Why did the teams actually get Messi? Why did the teams actually get Ronaldo? These big players. It's to help motivate the team. It's to help grow.
Because they're lazy. I'm sorry. They import it because they're lazy.
The team. To have a veteran like this, a good player. But does that mean these teams don't put in the work. These teams don't trust in
We didn't say that they don't put in the work. We said they're taking the easy way.
their players, don't trust in their own countrymen. No. You trust your own countrymen to work with.
If you trust in your own country, if you would be trusting in your country. It kind of does mean that. It kind of does mean that you would rather have the guy from that country because you feel that he's better than something that you can find in your own country. Or you don't want to put in the work into looking in your own country, which is lazy.
With imports as well, and to learn from them, to soak everything up like a sponge. So that's where I feel like it's just a battle of perspectives. It's just a battle of opinions here. Maybe, again, his perspective is different because maybe he hasn't really seen a lot of imports before. And I feel like, again, I think he's pretty new to the MLBB community, right? Because when it comes to achievements as well, like when we spoke earlier. We just don't have the talent right now. We don't have the people, like the people trialing aren't on the same level.
People trialing aren't on the same level.
Get imported. Optimal route, the
That's the whole point. If they're not on the same level right now, mold them into being on the same level. That's the non-lazy thing to do. If they're not supposed to be on the same level. You're supposed to get them there. You're supposed to do what Doggy is doing and get them up to par. That's the non-lazy thing to do.
In a fairy world.
So there's multiple things you can do. What these teams could do is start up a boot camp. Well, you say all these people are coming to these open trials on the scene. I'm gonna skip past this, y'all. They don't want to pour into. They don't want to hear his responses. Good enough.
Okay, so we already have that system, VeLL, and this is how I know that maybe you're pretty new into the MLBB community. Again, no hate to AskVeLL.
If you have that system, then it's clearly not working. Like, I'm not saying that you don't have the system. I'm saying that your system is not working because the Philippines has that system and it's actually doing something. You have that system and you're still importing from the Philippines. Make it make sense. If you have that system, why is it so shitty?
If you guys are watching this, please don't send any hate or anything. Because again, this is just both of us sharing opinions, right? But we already have that system. We already have academies. We already have community tournaments. We already have MDL as well. Below MDL, there's going to be trainees as well, guys. There's a lot of things that the Indonesian teams are doing to try their best to, again, find their talents. That's why I'm saying
their best might not be good enough. How about you want to import from the Philippines? How about you import somebody like Doggy to help you all put these systems in place in a way where they actually work and you actually can find talent in your own country? How about you do that? How about you put systems in place? Import somebody to help you find the talent in your own country. How about you import that? Nah, you would rather import the players because lazy. Yo, I'm just playing. I'm just playing right now. I do feel like it's lazy, but I'm really just joking around.
That the teams aren't lazy because sure, if the perspective,
and I don't mean that the teams are lazy. I feel like the organization, the people running the teams are lazy. It's not the players. I'm not coming at any of the players. The players work their hardest. The organizations would rather take the easy route, outsource, and import than actually put it towards the funding or whatever it takes to actually mold your own country. So it's not a dig at any player.
If it's that naive, right? If it's like, oh, this is literally a game that just released yesterday, and MPL Indonesia has just been around for 1-2 years, and we just haven't been able to win, and then we buy players, and then the players automatically make the whole team better. Sure, that's very, very lazy. I agree, and I think that's the perspective that he's coming into this with. I don't think he has a lot of knowledge about the Indonesian scene or just the MLBB scene in general, because again, he didn't mention anything about MDL. He's talking about boot camping, academies, etc. We already have all that. That's a thing. I know that. I know all that. I know that you have it. Like, I was very close to Jimmick at one point in time. I was actually here when all of this was getting built in Mobile Legends. I was here way before the MPL existed or any of this pro stuff. Like, history lesson for those who care, I was actually the first influencer in the community that they came to for this esports in Mobile Legends, period, ever. If you don't know this, the Moskov trailer that used to, like, the first hero reveal, like, trailer, spotlight and all that, I was the voice of that. They've since deleted it, but I was the voice of the Moskov trailer, the first time they had ever done that in Mobile Legends history. When they were going to start off Mobile Legends esports, I was the one that they came to and asked if I cared about esports and wanted to be a part of it.
At that point in time, I didn't want to be a pro player. I didn't want to gather some players and be some type of pro. I didn't have time for that. I was busy. So yeah, like I know about all this. I've been here as the scene has actually built. No, I'm not up to date with every single team and what's going on with every single team. I'm not saying that I'm someone that I'm not. I'm not sitting here super educated on everything. My opinion and my stance is that importing is lazy. I can't have a debate off with you about the quality of every single player. Like, you would probably destroy me talking. That's why I don't take part in conversations that I'm not educated enough to have. But what I feel is lazy and what I feel isn't is a conversation I feel like I can have, you know? So yeah. So I feel like you're kind of interpreting some of the things that I'm saying in the wrong way, as if I feel the players are lazy or something like that, when that's not really what I mean by what I'm saying. So maybe I'm just not saying it clear enough or in the right way, which I apologize if it's coming across in the wrong way that I'm not intending.
The real world, sometimes even with all these facilities, it doesn't guarantee that you will find players as good as Kyrie, as good as Skylar, an Indonesian player even.
See, you're explaining all of the reasons why they choose to just take the lazy route and go for a sure thing like importing Kyrie. You're explaining it. What if you don't find it? What if they don't become Kyrie? Like, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantees, which is why it's logical to take this route. It's logical to import. I get it. But all I'm pointing out is that even though it makes sense, it's still,
You know what I mean? So, yeah, we already have that system imported.
Crazy. You said in a fairy world land, you'll have full Indonesian players. The Philippines can have full Filipino players because the Philippines are just that dominant. They're doing it the right way. Come on now, that's lazy.
Have the time. Okay. Again, I feel like it's a very naive viewpoint. This is, again, my opinion. It's very naive. The fact that, like, I don't know where to start. So, where do I start, actually? Let's think about it again. So, I think it all starts with, like, the fairyland thing, right? Like, in a fairyland, in an optimal world, everything that, again, because of, the prior.
I think what he's trying to say is that the business side of things, the corporations, the money and what they're willing to invest in and sponsor and things like that, it prevents certain things from happening. So in the Philippines, where they have certain things, it may not be as cost effective, or it may not be the best business decision to do for Indonesia, which, if that's the case, I would 100% agree. I still would say that it's lazy, but I would say it's the best thing to do in terms of a business. So I'm not necessarily even disagreeing with a lot of what he's saying. My opinion, I'm just pointing out how the lazy route may be the best route to take for Indonesia. There's no point in saying, well, I don't even feel like, because I feel like I personally wouldn't want to see the lazy route being taken. I would prefer to see an MPL, or I would prefer to see a M series where the Philippines has done their thing, molded their players. Basically, the Philippines is doing it how they're supposed to. I would rather see Indo doing it in the same way that the Philippines is doing it, and seeing an all Indonesian team that can actually compete with the Philippines. I would rather see the true clash of these two countries, because I do believe that they can take each other on. Like, I do believe that they can take each other on. I believe that it could be amazing. I believe that the players would. I believe that it would be dope. I believe that it would be amazing to see, like during the Just No Limit era and all that, the limit era, like I would love to see that, man. I would love to see that. And I think that that's what the people really want. Like, you're just set. I feel like Indonesia is settling. You're settling to import because you don't want to put in that work, the work that it would take to actually do it the way that the Philippines has done it.
Knowledge that I've just shared with you guys, that we already have academies, we already have MDL, we already have so many developmental facilities for these young players to
what y'all developing in the facilities? Because you can't be developing the players if you still importing. so what y'all in there developing? Y'all just buying facilities and stuff, like what's being developed in there? Like, what's up? What they at? Where these super soldiers at? I need to see a super Kyrie come out of one of these facilities, man. You say that y'all have this stuff in place already, but we're not seeing the results of that. That's the only thing that I'm pointing out. So clearly these facilities need a little work. They need a little bit of effort. Like you need to import somebody different to run these facilities. Just saying.
Develop. And yes, again, I think we can actually get there. I think we have the talent pool. Thinking that we have the talent pool and seeing the talent pool develop is two different things, right? Because yes, there is a talent pool for sure. Can go head to head against Philippines? Yeah, maybe for sure. But unfortunately, they're not there yet. We can't just put in players like that in the MPL. Again, that's why we have the whole development system, right? We have the whole development system. That's why we also have imports there to help the main team get better. With these scrims against the main team, with that imported player as well, when the team gets better, this team will look for ways to get better as well. And that's how the cycle goes on for training, for development. It's all about scrims.
So you're taking the easy route by importing the best players from the Philippines so you all can learn to play at the level of the Philippines. And then in these boot camps, as they scrim against you all, basically the Philippines is leveling up your entire ecosystem, and that's the point of imports. I get it. But what I'm saying is that the Philippines is not importing to level up their system. They're putting in the hard work themselves and leveling it up. They're finding the talent themselves and leveling it up. The Philippines is doing the hard part for themselves. You all are taking the Philippines' hard work and trying to expedite that process. The Philippines can't just import and get better because what they gonna import from? They're the best. You all have an option of a cheat code and you're using it. Now, I think that it's smart to use it. I think that it really is smart to use the cheat code if you got one. But I just want to like we have to acknowledge the fact that you have a cheat code. That's all I'm saying. We just gotta acknowledge the cheat code, you know?
Internally, it's all about improving internally with the whole team, right? I have to listen again to what he said.
That's what it is. Because in Indonesia, or is the talent not?
So yeah, the talent is in Indonesia, but unfortunately, we have to take the slower route. We're not as good as the Philippines right now. And yes, the Philippines have built much of a better reputation when it comes to growing their talents. I think that's, again, an undisputable fact. Never try to dispute that fact anyways. And yes, Philippines...
I mean, I feel like we basically are saying the same things, kind of agree on a lot. It's just like, I think really what this is coming down to is we disagree on what's lazy and what's not lazy. That's what it seems that this entire thing is coming down to. He feels like I'm not acknowledging the fact that it's a lot of work to do what Indonesia's doing, which I am 100% acknowledging that. He feels like I'm coming at some of the players for being lazy, which I'm not doing that. I don't think that the Indonesian players are lazy. I feel like it's maybe just miscommunication and we're just kind of talking around each other, potentially. I don't feel like there's much, like just purely disagreement here, to be honest, outside of what it means to be lazy, I guess, maybe. Because, yeah.
This is right now the #1 region in the world because they're able to do it all with full Filipinos, full everything. And it's amazing for them. But for countries who can't do that, we have to find a way. We can't just be like, oh, okay, we'll just trust this roster again. We'll just trust this roster 100 billion times. We'll trust the new players 100 million times. We have to find something different.
So what you're saying is that you can't find it in you to trust your own country. You can't trust your own country, so you have to bring people from the Philippines because you can trust them. And you can trust them to improve your country. I mean, it's the stuff that you say that makes me like I'm just hearing what you're saying, bro. Like I think that this was Doggy's point. Like, how does your players feel? How does the players feel knowing that you all can't trust them? Like how do Indonesians feel about this? Knowing that you all can't trust them, so you're bringing in people from the Philippines. That has to be a morale kill. You know? Like, imagine you work somewhere, right? And then your boss doesn't find you competent enough to do your job, so they bring in somebody else to do your job better than you, so as a way to make you improve. I mean, yeah, you could take it as a positive way and as a challenge, but that's like, you know, that kind of, it could go wrong too.
We have to find a way. We can't just be like, oh, okay, we'll just trust this roster again. We'll just trust this roster 100 billion times. We'll trust the new players 100 million times. We have to find something different. Doing the same thing over and over and failing, that's what we've been doing. And that's why with the import.
So basically what you're saying is trusting your country leads to y'all failing every time. Yeah, I'm not trying to be toxic, but you just said y'all trying to trust your country leads to y'all failing every single time, which would point to the Philippines just being more dominant by far. Like, I'm not even the one saying this. Like, what's going on?
Imports coming in, we're trying a new way. We're trying to find a solution to the problem. How do we increase the level of players drastically in a short period of time? And it has to come through these imports from a better region. Unfortunately, that's...
I agree. No, I agree that I know I'm making a few jokes here and there, but I do agree that taking the easy route, taking the quicker route, it's smart. It is smart. So I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying for sure. Like, I don't want to make it seem like I don't get what you're saying, but I mean, taking the easy route is lazy.
That's just how it is. It's the same thing with, again, when it comes to football.
And I agree that it's part of business. It is part of the business. You probably should be doing this, but still lazy.
Well, that's what happens. When it comes to other esport titles, we can talk about CSGO, we can talk about League of Legends. There are import players everywhere around the world. There are Indonesian...
And it's lazy for it's lazy for everywhere. This is not just me picking on the Mobile Legends community. I mean, you can bring up other examples of people being lazy. Like, that doesn't make it any less lazy. It's like, I would say the same thing about them as well. So I'm very consistent in what I feel is lazy. You know, like if it is the standard to be lazy, then things just gets done like that. You get used to it. But I would not change. Like, when you have a country doing it the hard way, like the Philippines, you have to respect the fact that they do it the hard way and they still dominate like this. So it makes it look lazy because you have a country like the Philippines that exists. In a lot of these sports, it's matured so much over this time where basically everyone is importing. So if everyone is importing and no one is doing it the hard way, then it's really nothing to compare it to, so it can't be called lazy because everyone is all doing the same thing. But because of how early Mobile Legends is really into the esports scene, because it's still relatively early, I mean, it's seen as lazy because the Philippines is dominating like this the way that they're doing it, you know? So that's just all it is. It's just you're comparing Mobile Legends to something that's at a different stage of its esports career, or its career in the competitive scene as a whole.
Imports playing in China, does that mean that China is garbage, no talent pool? No, they found...
I didn't say that. I've never said the whole garbage, no talent thing. I've never said that. And that's what I don't like, that he's making it seem like I said that Indo is garbage and no talent. I never said that. I said the complete opposite. I said I believe the talent is there. I don't believe they're molding it right. You can't convince me that in all of Indonesia, there's nobody in Indonesia better than Kyrie. You can't convince me that there's no one in Indonesia better than Kyrie. Either you haven't found them or you haven't molded them. That's what I believe. I've never just said, nope, you'll never find someone better than these people in Indonesia. I've never said that once. I said that y'all won't do the hard work to find them or do the hard work to create them.
Found very, very good players that they want to utilize in their team that can also help increase the competitive level in that country. And it's the same thing for Europe, right? There's a lot of countries in Europe there, and they rotate all over in that region from these players. And same thing in League. China, Korea, we got Koreans going over to America, etc., back and forth to EU. And it's just... that's how it is, unfortunately. When one country is super, super strong, when one country is so far ahead of the curve, back-to-back M Series World Championship.
So you're basically expressing how far ahead the Philippines is. And they so far ahead that y'all need to import to catch up. So when I say this stuff, it's me. How are you agreeing with me? And at the same time, it's being painted as if I'm saying something I'm not saying. Me expressing the fact that the Philippines is making everybody in the whole scene better, that's how dominant they are, I'm seen as a yes man for the Philippines when you're essentially saying the same thing that I'm saying. Except for the twist here is you're making it seem like I'm downing Indonesia for it. No, I'm not downing Indonesia for it. I'm just pointing out how the Philippines have a more effective system that's working for them. It's actually working. Like, you can say that you have the same systems there in Indonesia, but they're not working. They're broken. So something within those systems is flawed. You know, you can't, I refuse to believe that it's the players that's flawed. No, it's the system. It's the system, not the players. The players are perfectly fine. The system is broken. So you need to be importing people to fix that system.
Just 4 times in a row. You got to try to learn something from them, and that's the process. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. That's the real world. That's why I said in a fairyland, in an optimal world, yeah, we would love to have full Indonesian players, right? Full Indonesian players, full Indo pride. Cambodia would love to be full Cambodian pride, but unfortunately, they have to get to that level first, and the fastest way to get to that level is, yes, through learning from the imports, through also bringing these imports in and then helping them grow together. Because again, when Kyrie and Yeb joined, I would say Yeb actually brought a bigger impact to the team by teaching a lot of things, right? But Kyrie also grew with the team. He brought a lot of like mechanical skill, etc., to the team, but he also grew, guys. When he joined,
so learning the Filipino strategies and things like that is what helped move Indo forward. The Philippines actually had to take time to learn and craft their strategies. All you had to do was bring someone over who knew them already and could teach them the Indo. Is that not lazy? You know, like, it is the smart thing to do. It is the best business thing to do, and it will boost you all ahead the fastest, but it's the lazier approach because you don't have to sit there and be the creative mindset behind coming up with this stuff. You just get to let someone else do the hard work, and you get to hire the person who has all this in their head, and then they get to just give it to you. Come on.
in to Onyx, he wasn't the best. Like, he was maybe mechanically the best, but he wasn't in his prime yet, I would say, back in MPL Season 9. Because Onyx PH actually dipped for quite a bit, right? And then, once he joined Onyx ID, he was able to find that peak again with the 4 Indonesians. I like how, I don't know, I feel like he is discounting a lot of the efforts that are made also by the Indonesian players in the team. It's not all about the imports, guys. Again, when
I do make statements sometimes, and I apologize, I do make statements sometimes where maybe I just completely do downplay Indo, but I don't feel as though Indo's out here doing nothing. I feel like Indo is doing their part. I just feel like the Philippines is a huge part to why, it plays a huge role in why the Indo can compete at all. I just feel like that, like even from the coach, the playbook, the coach bringing a whole playbook and then bringing a star player along with the playbook. It's like, yeah, I mean, they may be executing the playbook, but they're executing a Filipino playbook, you know? So I'm not discrediting the hard work that it takes for them to implement these things and for them to learn this stuff. Yeah, obviously, it's the Indonesian players that's doing the hard work and learning this stuff, but it was hard work in creating all this stuff as well. And I feel like that's not spoken enough about because the Philippines had to put in the hard work and do that part for themselves. You all don't have to do a lot of the hard stuff that the Philippines had to do because you just import from the Philippines after they've done the hard work already, you know? So I'm not trying to discredit Indo. I'm just bringing more praise to how ahead the Philippines actually is. That's it.
an import comes in, the whole team needs to adapt together, work together, and improve together. With an environment as healthy as Onyx, you have to give props to the Indonesian management. You have to give props to the Indonesian org. You got to give props to the Indonesian players, that they're all very accepting and they're all very kind and they're very professional. I think the word here to be using is professional. And that's why, yeah, that's the whole rebuttal, I guess, against the statement of AskVeLL in this position.
He makes it seem as though I just completely discredited what Indo's doing. Like, no, I'm not discrediting all of what they're doing at all. That's not how I feel. So yeah, what it is. Because you can't convince me that the talent is not there. I just don't believe they're doing enough.
I can't convince you that the talent is not there because I believe that the talent is there. But again, steps. We can't just,
to make the talent grow.
I feel like we can do even more, which is definitely the sights and the mission that, all the teams are looking to do next year. I mean, by this year, 2024.
That's
But yeah,
a
it's not
failure of
it's
the
not an
the
instant.
higher
Like
ups in
as
that
much as we
country.
want to
That's a
process,
failure.
as much as we want to give like the time for imports to be better in the team to adapt, it's the same thing for these younger players who are now stepping in.
Failure of them. That's the failure of that country. The Philippines found a way to do it. Indonesia is the ones who's pretty shitty at doing it. So they just wanna take players from the Philippines because they don't have to do the work. The Philippines did the work to make these players who they are. These players trained in the Philippines and became who they are, and Indonesia just wants to buy the Philippines' hard work. Come on now, that's lazy.
Have the time to develop all the young talents that yeah, like the whole thing that I said earlier. Yeah, we can possibly get, but in the real world, it's a business in the end. For these teams, it's a business. They're not just here to.
Yeah, so he's pointing out why they're taking the easy route. He's basically spent this time pointing out why they're taking the easy route, but he's not disputing that they're taking the easy route. They're taking the lazy route, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Pay their players to get.
He really just explained why they're lazy. He said it's in the real world, it's a business. So in the real world, it's better to just be.
Again, no, I think no. That's not. A business isn't lazy. I don't.
Some businesses are lazier than others. Some businesses are lazier than others. You take Mr. Beast's YouTube videos and compare them to anyone in the Mobile Legends community, we're all lazy. Yeah, we all do good content for what we're doing, but none of us are doing Mr. Beast content. Lazy. So you put it into perspective, and I know everyone's working their hardest, bro, but there's different levels to effort. So technically, is any YouTuber, any content creator lazy? No, but there's some that works harder, you know? That's just life. It's really just life. So somebody will always have the perspective that you're lazy, but realistically, taking an easy route in any capacity is lazy. But it's maybe the most logical thing to do as well. So I'm not even down talking taking the easy route. I'm just pointing out that it is the easy and lazy route. And you might see better results if you did not take the lazy route, was all I was saying.
I don't know how to like fight against that, man. Like saying that it's a business after saying everything earlier that I've said as well, you know, the whole process, everything, the money that's being spent, and also the effort, the hard work, the dedication of all the management team, of all the coaching team and everything, guys. It's a business in the end. Everything that's running right now, it has to go on. They have to find some sort of success, and unfortunately, they can't find those players yet. They don't. They haven't developed those talents yet. But with these steps, hopefully, they'll be able to do it. It's step by step, man. Like it's like again, football and CS:GO and League and everything. Like in America.
So he's then saying that he's essentially saying that it's just part of the steps. They're taking the steps to get to a point where their country can do it on their own, and it's just part of the steps. But I mean, they're taking a expedited route. You know, they're taking an expedited route, which makes sense to take. It's still lazier than if you all just took the time to do it all yourselves, but it's the most logical thing. If you can take an expedited route, it's the smartest thing to do to take an expedited route. But I don't know. I don't feel like we're really. I feel like we kind of agree. I guess I don't know. I really don't know at this point.
America, football is garbage. They can't, like, they're not in the level of Europeans, right? So they import a lot of players, and it's a business, unfortunately. So they have to import these players. And in an optimal world, you know, everybody would be equal, right? In a fairy world, everybody would be equal. But unfortunately, not all countries are equal. Not all players.
No. There's better talents in every country. They just don't want to put the work into that talent. And there's more complexities in real life, you know? There's more complexities in real life. So things happen where it's just more cost effective and more business effective to import. So I get it. Like I'm not disputing that at all.
Players are equal, guys. It's very naive. Very, very naive, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's naive. Like I don't think that it's naive. Like, I get what he's saying, and I even agree. Like, I'm not disagreeing with anything. I think that we're pretty much talking around one another. Let me see what else he says.
As well, sure. But to say that Indonesia has no passion and it's just all money is just ridiculous. Even for the business owners.
That was a generalized statement, and yeah, that was my bad. Maybe that one was going too far. Because obviously there's some passion there. I think that my comparison and my statement was more so in comparison to the Philippines. The Philippines is just far ahead in all aspects like that. So it's like, I just meant that the Philippines is more passionate. I didn't think that there was no passion in Indo at all, you know?
Organization owners, guys, esports is still in a very, very early stage. Everyone that's investing money into esports right now, it's a whole lot of passion. Esports is a very passion-heavy division. All the money that's being burnt, a lot of teams actually are going at a very, very, are going red, just doing all this, you know? And that's all the passion that's coming in. And again, with all the passion, sometimes passion isn't, you can't just say like, okay, Philippines are more passionate, that's why they're better. That's so naive, you know? It's like, are we in an anime where it's just the power of friendship and passion? There is passion.
I mean, I'll put it this way. If you're born in an environment where everyone is passionate about one thing, you're probably going to be better at that one thing than somebody born in an environment where they're not as passionate about it, but some people here and there do it. So if the entire Philippines is an ecosystem where they eat, breathe, and sleep Mobile Legends, and in Indonesia, it's not that same type of environment where they're not that crazy about Mobile Legends, then obviously that explains a lot. Now, I've never been to either. I can't speak on that. All I can speak on is what I've heard, which is I hear how seriously they take Mobile Legends in the Philippines, which that reflects in their gameplay. So you can tell me that you all equally take it that serious in Indo, and I don't know better. I can't tell you no, you don't. What I can say is that that does not reflect in the results that you're getting. So, yeah.
Passion everywhere, guys. There is passion. Even me, myself, from casting, from making content, everything. But it's just sometimes there are different levels. Some countries, some people, some players are better than others. Some regions are better, and that's how the world revolves around these issues. They find solutions, and right now the solution is imports because they raise the level of competition. Again, I'm repeating a lot because the points that I've made in this video are the same.
To be honest,
I think again, because of his the lack of experience in the MLBB world, like not having prior knowledge of how the MDL works, how all this works, and how the ecosystem is in Indonesia, because it's quite good for amateur and community players to not be able to do anything, right? Because again, in the end, even though they put in passion, they have to find some sort of money to keep it rolling. You know what I mean? So yeah,
you explain what I'm hearing is an explanation for why it makes sense to take the lazy route, which I've 100% agreed that it takes sense in Indo's position. It makes more sense to take the lazy route. I'm still saying it's lazy though. Like, come on, to go up, like not. But the thing is, what a sponsor is actually looking for. There's multiple ways around it, but the thing is, people want to take the lazy route. Oh, let's just play the game. Let's try to win the tournament. And if we win the tournament, that's going to come with all of these perks. It's like, honestly, that way seems a hell of a lot harder than how easy it actually is to get the success and or get the results. It's insane. It's insane people haven't caught on. But, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, everyone's trying to do it the same way. This is the thing. In Mobile Legends, the players are all playing the same heroes. And the teams, the organizations, they're all doing the same things, all going for the same players. It's like no one thinks outside of the box and no one can think for themselves. And if you are incapable of thinking, you're going to think just like everyone else, and that's going to be your biggest weakness. You can't just be a robot and think like everyone else. Like, the people who see the best results and get the biggest gains are the people who are outlier thinkers. You can't be like everyone else. The majority of other people, you got to take risks. You got to be a risk taker. They're all the same. They're all the same in this.
Okay. So, sponsorships is not that easy, right? Maybe
Sponsorships are definitely that easy. I've dealt with a lot of sponsors. I've had a lot of sponsorships. It's that easy to me. Maybe it's not that easy to, I don't know what type of business these guys are doing, but then again, it's weird. Sponsorships are very easy. If you can get a shit ton of viewers, if you get a lot of people who watch you, a lot of interest, companies pay for that. These companies want their products and stuff in front of a ton of people. If you can provide that, if you can bring value to these companies, they bring money. It's really that simple. These companies are trying to sell something. If they think they can get a return on investing in you, they'll invest. Very much that simple.
It is in North America, I have no idea, but even for MLBB, my friend, maybe for you as a channel, a content creator with a very huge following, 252,000 subscribers, you're doing very, very well. You can get sponsors, etc. But especially in the third world country,
I've gotten bigger sponsors from my channel with 10,000 subscribers. To be fair, that's a business channel. It's a different. Listen, if you understand business, the opportunities are there. I've gotten my biggest sponsorships ever have come from my channel with, no, it's at 13,000 subscribers now. So yeah, you're saying that it's not that easy. It is. What I'm telling you all is you all think the same. You all think that it's harder, so you're making it harder than it actually is. It's very simple. Bring viewers to a company. You're going to bring some people willing to buy whatever it is that whatever it is that they're viewing, which means they're going to pay you for that opportunity. Very simple, honestly. Y'all, I don't know why y'all overcomplicating it like this hasn't been done before throughout gaming. League of Legends has done this. Call of Duty has done this. Fortnite has done this. This is a pretty much standard thing in gaming. Like, you have sponsors out here paying for gaming houses and things like that. And I don't know if that's being done in Mobile Legends. I believe that some teams is making it happen, but come on. Like, this is nothing new. This is nothing new. It may be new for the Mobile Legends community, but just recreate what has already been done. Stop trying to recreate the wheel. Like, it's very easy.
By the way, sponsors are not very easy to come. I think Filipinos could definitely agree with this one as well. AP Bren, I just had the time to actually go from this video, check out the grand finals. As of this, grand finals where they actually won after winning MPLPH as well, they have Realme as their sponsor, right? They have Realme, and then like two others, others here. But before this, I remember very, very well that AP Bren were also struggling a lot financially, right? They were struggling a lot financially. They were
sounds like management, maybe a management thing. Sounds like maybe you need to get the right people in place, willing to close deals and willing to find the right opportunities. It doesn't mean that the opportunities aren't there. It just means that none of you all know how to secure these opportunities and to find these opportunities. You need to hire experts who knows what they're doing. Like who is the people managing this stuff? Do you have people from the Call of Duty community who's done this before? The Fortnite community, the League of Legends community? Do you have people in place showing you all how to build this from the ground up? Because everything that you all are trying to do in Mobile Legends has been done before elsewhere. Are you consulting those people who's done it already? Are you actually doing that? Or are you just trying to figure it out yourselves? Because if you're just trying to figure it out yourselves, that could be why it's taking longer to figure it out. Like you're expediting the process with the imports, expedite the knowledge of how to get sponsorships with importing these business people. It's the same way, like this, like I said, I understand business. This is why I get what you're saying. Business is business. I get it.
Struggling a lot to find sponsors, etc., because they were not making it to playoffs. They were not performing well. And yes, they did trust their talent, and in the end, it paid off. But see, not every team can survive that. Not every team wants to be in the position where AP Bren was. They had to collab with AP as well. That's why it was Bren, and then
that's because of the decisions that they made. Like, take somebody like FaZe Clan. FaZe Clan had all of their competitive esports teams, but guess what else? Guess what was carrying FaZe Clan in their reputation? YouTubers, content creators. The content creators, the montage makers, the clippers and stuff like that, that is what built FaZe Clan's legacy. All of that was what was given the viewership. The viewership, getting these sponsors, getting these deals, That's what it was. And then they also had the pro side. You all are strictly trying to go in on the pro side. Where's the entertainment side? Where's the other content? Where's the, where's the teams dedicated to creating content? These companies want views. In the Mobile Legends community, you're not getting views because there's nothing worth viewing outside of the winners. Change the ecosystem where there's something worth viewing outside of the winners. Make some entertaining content. These guys are together all the time. Have a cameraman in there vlogging their fun activities. One day a week. Take these guys to a theme park or something and just hold a camera. Watch them having fun. Watch them meeting fans and make fun, lit content. And that is going to bring in more viewers, boost the viewers in the Mobile Legends community, and also boost the sponsorship opportunities because now there's something to watch. Win or lose, AP Bren is still interesting to watch because there's content associated with them. There are different ways to go about securing sponsorship deals. The Mobile Legends community just all wants to win the same prize and try to get sponsored in the same way. It's more ways to get sponsored than just doing the exact same thing as everyone. You're making each other your competition. You're all fighting for that #1 spot to get all the opportunities that come with that #1 spot. How about you just utilize or capitalize on some of the other opportunities that exist? I mean, the Mobile Legends community is lazy in a lot of ways. That's, you know what I'm saying? No, let me stop.
Became AP. So when it comes to financial, it's very the financial standing of teams. It's very, very important. AskVeLL. When it comes to these teams, actually for them to keep going. The very easy example as well was of why you need to win, why you need to find success, why you need to be fame, to get that fame, to have these sponsors. And it's not as easy as you would think as well, because he's saying that it's actually very easy to get sponsors, etc.
I've started off in the Call of Duty community. I gained popularity in that community. Vlogging and stuff like that, I've gained popularity in that community. What else? Like business, I've gained popularity in the business community. I've been sponsored in every community I've been a part of. And when I was in the Call of Duty community, I only managed to get like 10,000 subscribers or something like that. And it's like I'm huge in the Fortnite community on some channels that people don't even know that I own. Needless to say, I work with a lot of sponsors. I get sponsors, I get a lot of opportunities, and I see things from a different perspective. I only know how easy it is because I understand what these companies look for when they're looking to sponsor someone. You can bring them viewers and interest and people who are actually willing to buy the things that they're selling. You can get sponsored. You convince them that we are very popular. We're bringing in, but that's the thing. You're all just focused on trying to win. So you know who's sitting around thinking, let's start a whole series where we make some fun content one day out of the week and see how that goes on YouTube. Because if you have a series, if Bren Esports has a series where they make some content, some piece of content, and every time they post that piece of content, it's a guaranteed million views because it's entertaining, you can get that sponsored. You can get that series sponsored. You may get one sponsor who want to sponsor the entire series, get them to sponsor you for the whole year. Then guess what? When you have that deal secured, create another series and do it again. Now you have a second series. You can approach them with that series and tell them, would you like to sponsor this series? Or you can work with a different sponsor. But I'm not going to give away all the secrets and tricks of the trade, though. But at the end of the day, you're all trying the same approach. There's other ways to handle business. I'm just saying.
No, it's not. I actually spoke to a lot of casters as well in PH because I was wondering the same thing. I asked them many, many times, why doesn't AP Bren have more sponsors, right? They're doing so good right now. And then they gave me a whole lot of reasons. Esports is still a very young idea, I would say.
Exactly. You all are trying to sell sponsors and a bunch of old head office people on esports. Sell them on the viewership. The viewership. What they don't care about esports. These people they have a big checkbook. They don't give two shits about esports. You're not supposed to be trying to sell them on esports. Maybe some buy into esports, maybe some don't. You're supposed to be selling them on numbers and viewership. How many people is an advertisement on TV going to put you in front of? Maybe 100,000, you know? How many people can I put you in front of? This series I have on YouTube gets put in front of 1 million people every time I post it. I can put you in front of 1 million people. Who's more likely to buy your content or buy your product? That 100,000 people on TV that nobody barely watches, or this 1 million people here on YouTube? It's a business, bro. It's just a business.
Especially MLBB in both, even Philippines and Indonesia. Like in Indonesia, it's a bit better. It's much better for sponsors, etc. But even Onic, a team that has won MSC before Kyrie stepped in, before season 8, right? Before season 8 and season 7 and season 7 and even 8 regular season and even in the playoffs, they didn't have a lot of sponsors, guys. And then after winning season 8,
yeah, but them not having sponsors doesn't mean that they can't get it. It just means they don't have the knowledge of how to get it, or someone who's doing the job that they, that could be getting done. Like, and also you all don't have these other parts of what makes other communities great in place. Where's the content in the Mobile Legends community outside of esports? You all have focused on heavily going strong on esports, which is fine, but takes more than that.
8 after winning MPLI, then they got a whole lot of sponsors. And then now they've kept those sponsors and they've added even more because they've consistently been winning. They've gained a name, they've gained fame, they've gained a lot of traction from the success that they've gotten. And
so their sponsorship deals is based on them winning. And we live in an age where you can do more than that, because your org can actually onboard content creators that's going to keep the views high no matter what, which means that you can keep the sponsors happy no matter what. You don't have to win to get the amount of views that, like you don't have to keep winning to get those same amount of views. Like I'm saying, like y'all all are doing the same thing and then talking to each other about how the same thing is so hard. It's not going to get easier because you're all doing the same things.
success comes from wins. So yes.
You've created an ecosystem and an environment where success comes from wins. There's other ways to get success though. You all just chose the one route where you're just going to focus on wins to try and get it. That's your choice. That doesn't mean that's the only route. It means it's the only route you're willing to try.
I think that was, again, a very naive take. I'm sorry, man, but like I think that's your perspective, which is great. I, again, do not.
You're saying it's a naive. You're saying a lot of my takes are naive, but it's coming down to the fact that I'm just more experienced than you may realize, especially in the business world. Like, we're going into the business world now. This is my domain. Like, at the point where Mobile Legends, yeah, you got me when it comes down to certain teams and certain aspects and certain information, but we want to talk business. I know how money works, you know? So yeah.
I want to bash you. For everybody watching, don't bash. It's, again, we're welcoming a new member of the community, of the MLBB community.
I'm not a new member. I'm an OG. Probably one of the first ones to get sponsored ever in the Mobile Legends community, in Mobile Legends history. The first content creator to ever get promoted by Moonton themselves. You know, I'm not like, it sounds good when you spin a narrative that's not true, but come on now. Nah, I'm not, and it's nothing new about me.
And unfortunately, that's just not how it works. Maybe it does work in NA, maybe it does work for you. And again, congrats for having that, you know, the sponsorship deals, etc.
Import somebody from NA. If it doesn't work for you, import somebody from NA. I've been getting sponsored since I was a smaller channel. I've been getting sponsors even on smaller channels that I currently run.
It's amazing. But that's just not how it is in Indonesia, and from what I've heard from, you know, other talents in the Philippines, even more so. It's even harder to actually find sponsors. Yeah. Players possible, and unfortunately we just don't have the best players right now in the world. I think that the new big, personally, it raises the level of competition, right? Because
no, it just takes jobs away from people. From
this, it was just Onic and RQ. Now it's still just Onic, but because change is made, and then yes. So no to your no. I'm sorry, man, but yes, it does take away from Indonesian jobs, but that's
takes
a
jobs.
step. That's how we're. Messi comes to America. He's taking a job of an American. Does that mean that fuck Messi? No. He's helping the team improve. He's helping everybody grow around him. Etc. That's how. Yeah, everything that I've explained earlier. Rewind it again because I'm basically repeating it over and over again. But it's basically the
All
same.
right, we're gonna go to the end. We're gonna skip to the end. We're basically going in circles.
I do. I like a lot of his opinions. Right. I mean, again, taking some of the opinions that I said earlier. I respect those opinions, but a lot of them I feel it's just not. It's just like with minimal knowledge of how the esports ecosystem worlds in the world, because again, even Cambodia, they're importing players, even Malaysia, they're importing players, like I've said earlier. So that's just how it is when it comes to competitive level. Sometimes you need to
Yeah. So he thinks I was saying things that I wasn't really saying. Like, he's arguing against points I didn't really make. He's assuming things that's not really true. Like, I think it's just really coming down to understanding one another. I understand where he's coming from. I don't think he understands where I'm coming from, really. You know?
be able to make that move. Yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. You guys, I love discussions, as you probably know from the whole discussion thing. I think it's great. It keeps the community alive. I've seen so many of you guys also comment in the videos. Some of you guys are leaving hate. That's why I'm saying, please don't hate on AskVeLL. Please don't hate on me. Possibly, like, I would hope for you guys not to hate on me. But if you do want to hate on me, it's fine. I've gotten hate before. I don't really care. But yeah, please don't hate on each other. Again, this is a sharing thing. This is an opinion thing. We're sharing.
Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, all we're doing is having a discussion. We're sharing two sides of opinion, two different opinions. That's fine. It's okay for two men to have different opinions. Like, we're not going to agree about everything. We're not going to have the same life experiences. Like, how I feel that it's easy to get sponsors because of my experience. If he hasn't had those same experiences, he made it very clear. He went to the Philippines and asked them about how it worked. I haven't had to ask nobody because I've been able to live how it worked. So if he has not had the same life experiences as me, how is he ever going to think the same as me? So sharing our ideas and our information, that's the only way we learn about one another and learn why we feel and think the way that we feel and think. So yeah, I mean, this is just a healthy part of, healthy dialogue between two people passionate about what they're talking about. I mean, obviously he's more knowledgeable on esports and a lot of things, but I do have some strong opinions about the things that I am knowledgeable about. I mean, it's really that simple. I'm not going to try to sit here and debate him about any individual player or something like that, where obviously he knows more than me. Those, like I said, I watch him. I watch what he talks about. Like, I get educated a lot from some of the things that he's saying and some of the topics that he covers. So I would never down him or downplay his importance in the things that he knows. It's just certain things that I know as well. So yeah.
Opinions, we're sharing knowledge with everyone here. And please let me know what you think in the comment section, because you might agree with me now with a new light shined upon the whole ecosystem and thought process, or you might still disagree, which is completely fine. It's an open discussion that will keep MLBB alive even longer, and we'll get engagement anyway. So yeah, like the video, comment down below your thoughts, your discussions, etc., because I think it's a very, very good topic to be talking about right now, because we're seeing there will be more imports in Indo. Whether you like it, whether you hate it, there's going to be more imports.
Oh, we know.
Peace out.
We know more imports coming. Y'all need them. Now let me stop. But yeah, man, great video. I love the response. We definitely agree on some things, I think, maybe disagree on some. At the end of the day, like, I have nothing but respect for you. I love the fact that you attempted to cover everything, all the concerns that I had, and address some of the things that I was saying. Some things I've had to apologize for. I know that maybe it wasn't worded and presented in the best way possible. So yeah, I definitely acknowledge that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. Let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. Let me know how you all feel. What side of the debate are you on right now? I'm sure we'll have more conversations, more dialogue in the future. I mean, we're just all passionate about this, and we just want to see the best for Mobile Legends, essentially. But yeah, and I think maybe my intentions are kind of misunderstood a little. Just because I'm giving the Philippines their praises doesn't mean that I don't respect what's going on in Indo. And just because I think that importing approach is lazy doesn't mean that I don't respect and understand why you're importing. So yeah, I think that it's just some little nuances and people not understanding me as a person, which why would you? I mean, a lot of you all don't know me. So yeah, that being said, let me know what you all think. Be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and I will catch you all on the next one. Peace out, fam.